Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's Halloween makeup look, we are going to be doing one of the hitchhiking ghosts from the Haunted Mansion. I literally cannot remember this one's name. We are doing the, one who looks like he's escaped from jail. He has the little ball and chain that he carries around. He's like the shortest out of all of them. I literally can't remember his name. I'll put it in the description if I find it. But that's who we're doing today. And this is another body paint heavy look. If you want to do this as a regular costume, it's totally doable, but you will still have to paint your face. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. First and foremost, you need either a really light blue or a kind of a light teal color, because in the ride they are holograms, so they have that kind of digital blue glow. I made mine by mixing a little bit of white, a little bit of blue, and a teeny tiny little dash of green from the Snazaroo water activated paints. Other ones I would recommend, Wet n Wild Fantasy Maker in the pastel palette. There's a blue that would probably work if you lay it out sheer enough. Even in their metallic one, there's a teal. I just didn't have enough of that paint left to do it. But you could also do a matte base and then put that teal over top, so it gives it that shiny kind of digital look. But yeah, any kind of color that's light blue or this kind of light teal will mimic the color of the Hitchhiking Ghost. I guess you could do gray too if you wanted, but I feel like these colors really match. So anyway, I am layering on this paint because if you've worked with body paint or face paint before, you know that blue and white are super streaky, so you really have to layer them up. So now I'm just taking the same color I used before and going down my neck. You can probably tell I look a little more blue than the very beginning, and that's just because as I was mixing the paint, this is kind of what was consistently showing up. So this is the color I went with, just this very light blue. But this took about 3 or 4 layers all over the face, and then I went a little bit lighter on the neck just because you don't see it as much. But, you know, go as thick or as thin with it as you want. So now I'm going to do the shirt. His outfit is very, tame compared to the other two. The other two kind of have, suits on. This guy has just a long sort of nightshirt is what it looks like. And I am just mixing up blue and white and creating, this sort of steely gray blue. But I didn't put any black in it. This is just kind of how it ended up mixing together. But I am just basically I draw the neckline first, and he has a scoop neck shirt. If you're wearing the actual costume, obviously go to Walmart or Goodwill or something, and I'm sure you can find a big light blue shirt like this one. But yeah, so I just drew the neckline first, and then figuring out where my sleeves are going to go, how far down I want them, and all of that. The clothes don't have to look super realistic, so don't be intimidated by painting on clothes. I'm still very much learning how to paint clothes in a way that makes them look real. It takes a lot of practice and tools and stuff, obviously. So yeah, one day I'll do a full body paint maybe. But yeah, so now I am just filling in the sleeves. I took the sleeves right down past my armpit. I felt like that was a good place to go. If you are doing this for a costume, obviously paint your hands and arms. I just literally did not have time today to do it, so I just did this really quick. And you can, even if you find a morph suit that's the right color, that would even help you and you wouldn't have to paint as much. So taking my milk pencil from NYX, I'm just going to draw on some super fluffy, thick eyebrows. Now they'll probably turn a little blue as I'm doing this, just because that's what happens when you put it over water-activated paint for some reason, even if it's dry. But you will see them, it'll give enough highlight. But this guy is the one, he has that big beard, so you can get a fake beard. I'm going to paint one on, it's not going to be as big, but it's fine. But then I'm going to highlight down my nose and on the sides of my nose, because this guy has a really long, wide nose. So I want my nose to look a lot like that. Obviously I can't make it as big, but we can give the impression that it's wide. So I just put some highlight on the tips of my nostrils and then the top of my nose, and then all down the sides so that it just looks kind of flat and wide. So for some of the finer details here, I'm just using Black Bean Jumbo Pencil from NYX, sorry, all around my eyes just to give them a little bit of definition. He does kind of have, deep set eyes in the ride, so there is a bit of a shadow there. You just want it to kind of give a little bit of definition. It doesn't have to be your whole lid or anything. And now it's time to outline. So we're going to outline the collar of the shirt and the sleeves just so that they have a bit of definition. They, show up, they differentiate. People get the illusion of what you're trying to do here with clothes and all the stuff like that. So I'm just going to go around the neck, like I said. You don't have to make this really thick. I recommend like a really thin brush and kind of let the paint take you where it wants to go. That way it's a lot easier to work with instead of trying to force it, into perfect shapes. When it flows naturally kind of down your body, it looks a lot more realistic. So that is what I recommend for you. So I'm just doing the sleeves now, just going around my arm. I don't go the whole way around my arm ever because it's kind of a waste of paint because no one's going to see it. But if you're doing this for like a party or something, definitely go the whole way around your arm, paint as much as you can. So this is the hardest part, honestly, is doing this all with my opposite hand. I am trying to practice more with my left hand so I can get better at being ambidextrous when I do paint, because otherwise it just ends up looking a mess. Now I'm just putting a few little kind of movement marks, you can call them, or little creases, just making it look cartoony and kind of like the shirt has little bunches or even like holes in them. This big black blotch I ended up covering up, so don't even worry about that, completely ignore that. But I just put a few little movement lines in there. And now it is time for the beard. In hindsight, I should have just left this part of my face blank and done the beard over top, like on just fresh skin, but I didn't even think about it until I was 90% of the way done with the beard, but oh well. So I just took all white paint, and I actually have a little pop figure, and that's what I keep looking up at to make his beard. It goes all the way from ear to ear, and his mustache starts up by his nose and curves down, which you guys will see me do, but this is just plain white paint, and it ended up needing like 3 or 4 coats to be bright enough to see by the time it dried. Sometimes just because the blue is going to show through a little bit. Then of course I had to do the mustache, so I brought the paint up just along the sides of my nose and brought it down. This brush is kind of the perfect shape for doing this, so I just used the brush. And then I outlined everything with a little bit of gray paint. I just mixed together black and white. And this does, but it doesn't, look too dark that it looks fake. So that's really it for this look other than the wig. I just put on my white wig and made it really messy, and then I made this little ball and chain out of some craft paper. So if you guys like this video, make sure you like it down below, and tomorrow we will do another hitchhiking ghost. So I will see you then. Bye.